Do y'all have any idea how freaking crazy y'all are? We've been live for 1 second. Almost 200 people are watching this. Well over 100 likes. Oh my gosh. Y'all are out here making me feel like Leonardo DiCaprio. This is crazy. Let's go ahead. Let's get in a fantasy football draft. I'm kind of speechless. I have no idea what the hell to say. We're going to get in the puppy draft. Per usual, I'm going to dominate these drafts as we only do. I don't think I've ever had a bad draft ever in the history of fantasy football drafts. It has only been beautiful draft after beautiful draft after beautiful draft. This is loading up, and it is perfect for us as we have the 103. So we will be getting either Jefferson, Chase, or Tyreek Hill. Now, hopefully, somehow, some way, we pull a rabbit out of our hat and we're able to get Jamar Chase here at pick 3. Most likely not happening. Most likely we are going to be looking at Tyreek Hill. But regardless, I had 2 drafts earlier today off the live stream where we were picking at 4, started Tyreek Hill, got Tua at a massive, massive value, and honestly, just had a beautiful draft top to bottom. So let's go ahead. Let's get this going. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Literally cannot believe that so many of y'all are out here. And Harisk says, finally, I'm in the live chat for once. Mason, what's up? Happy to see you. Carson says, makeup looks great. Thank you. I spent God knows how long putting on this makeup for y'all. But Jefferson, Chase off the board 1 and 2. So let's go ahead. Let's take Tyreek at 3. I mean, yes, you can make an argument. Oh, okay, Mason, come on, CMC's good. Trust me, CMC won me $100,000 last year. Trust me, I really do like Christian McCaffrey, but I'm going to go ahead. We're going to grab our wide receiver. Thought about taking Kupp over Tyreek, but then Las Vegas put out their win totals, and the Rams were at 6.5. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe the Rams aren't back to what we thought they were. So I still am completely fine going through and taking Kupp after Tyreek Hill, but I am going to take Tyreek Hill ahead of Kupp. I know I sound like a broken clock, but this is absurd. Diggs goes 5. We've been live for 2.5 minutes, and we are going to hit 200 likes on this live stream. These are ninja numbers. What the hell is going on? How many of you sickos are wanting to get in a fantasy football draft on June 6th? Steven says broken record. This has to be a broken record. Like, this doesn't happen during the season. Thank you so much for everybody that is as sick as I am that wants to go ahead and draft 1 million teams in June. Y'all know I'll draft over 700 teams on Underdog this year. Best ball, no time commitment at all during the season. Unless you're living under a rock. You've heard that I won $150,000 on Underdog last year. And unless you're living under a rock, you've heard that if you sign up with promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a 100% deposit match. Not only a 100% deposit match, but at the same time, you are going to get my 2023 fantasy football rankings. You will get a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And on top of this, you can hop into some fantasy drafts with us on the live stream. Available in damn near every state. You can pause this real quick. If it's in yellow, it's available. Yes, it's available in Texas, Florida, California. Available pretty much everywhere. And I'm sorry if I sound like I am just like off my game right now, but I just legitimately can't believe how many people are here. So thank you so much. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for everybody. And I'm looking forward to getting into a draft with you. And you know we're going to be live streaming these drafts every single day until the season starts. Every single freaking day. Jeep Guy coming out says, loved you in the Titanic. Fun fact, and I know I will be made fun of for this. So, I mean, feel free to laugh at me in the live chat. When I told my girlfriend this, trust me, I did not hear the end of it and still am not hearing the end of it. The Titanic is maybe, just maybe, my favorite movie of all time. The amount of movies I can count that are better than the Titanic in my mind, maybe 1 to 2. And that's if I'm not wanting to sit here and embarrass myself in Titanic's the GOAT, Titanic's the 101 of movies. And yes, I understand y'all are going to hit me with some L's. I get it. But let's switch this over. We took Tyreek Hill in the first. See what we're getting in the second, ladies and gentlemen. Lone Labo on the clock. Went Cooper Kupp round 1. They go Devonta Smith. So once they take Smith, we're pretty much guaranteed to either get Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or Josh Allen on the way back around. So we will take Tony Pollard here round 2. I mean, just the thing is, right, there are 3 quarterbacks in this top tier. So we have, say, Mahomes going 23, Jalen Hurts going 24, and then those teams can't take quarterbacks on the way back around. So we'll get Josh Allen at 27. So pretty much guaranteed to get a quarterback at 27. But Alex says Corey Davis is the best round 18 pick out there. I have not taken a lot of Corey Davis, my friend. So honestly, I kind of hope you're wrong, even though I did like Corey Davis a lot back in the day. Derek says, so how was KC? You coming in town for a game with me? Okay. How about this? Maybe if the Chiefs make it deep into the playoffs, which is likely, during the season with my live stream schedule, there's no way in hell I can go to a game. But maybe during the playoffs we can, my friend. And not going to lie to you, Derek, I went to Kansas City for the NFL draft. You already know this. I was expecting to try some barbecue and for it to forever change my life. I was expecting to have Kansas City barbecue and think it was the best thing I've ever eaten. I will admit to you, I was shocked that it was not that good. I keep in mind, I'm from Austin, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. I grew up eating Austin barbecue, but I would say Austin barbecue is much better than KC, my friend. It says, did you eat at Q39? I had like 3 or 4 different barbecue spots. The Airbnb lady told me where to go. I listened to her. I don't exactly remember what I got. We had not 3 or 4. We had definitely 3 barbecue spots we went to. I ate barbecue the entire time I was there. But Jensen says, Allen, Richardson, Jefferson, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Walker, Swift, Madison, Damian Harris, Evan Ingram, Cole Kmet. What do you think? Okay, I'm operating under the assumption this is going to be an underdog draft. And if this is an underdog draft, I really like it. I'm assuming that you had Jalen Hurts going off the board before Josh Allen. If not, I would have rather taken Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen with the Devonta Smith build. But very rarely are you going to see Jefferson and Smith go to the same team. Seems like relatively decent values that you go with the running backs later on. So yeah, I like the team, my friend. I like the team. Okay. Now let's go ahead and... Jeep guy says the Airbnb lady seems legit. Hey, I'll tell you. She was a fine lady and would only tell me the best barbecue places. All right. Now let's move this over. So we have Lamar Jackson off the board at 33. So obviously we're kind of wanting to see quarterbacks go, right? When you take Josh Allen at 27, you're wanting to see, Justin Fields off the board. We're wanting to see Joe Burrow off the board. And yeah, I'm actually starting to get some of these elite level quarterbacks. Y'all know I said I'm not taking any of these elite quarterbacks in round 2. A lot of people said that I would never be able to draft a quarterback at the very top this year then. But since these guys fall to round 3, it seems like I'm getting one of these quarterbacks in every single draft. So I went from literally having 0 Mahomes, Josh Allen, Devonta Smith to now I have 2% Mahomes, which is more than 0. I have 7% Josh Allen now, and I have 5% Jalen Hurts. So slowly but surely, I'm starting to get these elite level quarterbacks. I was not getting them at the beginning of the second round, but you better believe I'm starting to get them here at the beginning of the third. Okay. Now we have Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley off the board, 37, 38. Keenan Allen has been such a big riser. Keenan Allen used to go in round 5 of these drafts. I have no idea how the hell Keenan Allen's risen up so much. I was all about taking Keenan Allen ahead of Mike Williams last year. If y'all remember, last year was the year where everybody was 100% sold on Mike Williams. Everybody thought Keenan Allen was going to fall off, and Mike Williams was some phenomenal selection in round 3. Last year, I didn't buy it. Last year, I didn't draft Mike Williams at all, and instead we took Keenan Allen at the discount. Now that Keenan Allen's another year older, this is kind of the time I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'll get off of Keenan Allen now. Like, I'll go ahead. I will move off of Keenan, and I will now be pivoting over to Mike Williams, who you're getting at the late 4th, beginning of the 5th round, depending on the draft that you're in. And I'm fine pairing up Mike Williams with Justin Herbert right after. Okay. Now we have McLaurin going off the board, 43. JB says, Mason, do you believe in the Bijan hype? So we made a Bijan Robinson video about a week ago. Of course, I went to Texas. I interviewed the man at the NFL draft, so I am heavily rooting for him. But essentially, a week ago, we looked at the profile and said, well, he is an incredibly impressive rookie, and I understand why people are so excited. I personally will not be drafting him where he goes because Bijan Robinson at that time was going a lot at pick 5, 6, 7, where I was like, he's the same as Eckler, he's the same as Taylor, he's the same as Barkley for me. So I wasn't drafting him at all. Whereas now, I'm not going to lie to you, with Bijan Robinson falling to 12, with him now going behind Eckler, I will start drafting Bijan Robinson. I do not know if I have him in a single draft so far because when he was going well above those guys, I thought it was kind of crazy. I actually have him in 0% of the drafts, but his name will pop up because I've drafted like 150 teams and I have him in 1, so it's slightly under 1%. But now, if he's falling behind Eckler and he's going next to Taylor Barkley, I will start drafting Bijan Robinson. Very similar to now that I'm drafting the quarterback since they've fallen. Here, we're going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, we are wanting a wide receiver when we pass on wide receiver in rounds 2 and 3, but it's kind of difficult for us to go through and take DJ Moore, Christian Kirk over Jahmyr Gibbs in my mind. Joe Burrow goes off at 50, so we will get Christian Kirk on the way back around. I think you can make a very strong argument that Kenneth Walker is a much better pick than Christian Kirk, but just strictly based on the fact that we take Josh Allen round 3, Jahmyr Gibbs round 4, we really need to make sure that we're grabbing at least one more wide receiver here. So we'll go ahead, we'll kind of reach on Christian Kirk to pick 51, just so we don't get behind the 8 ball at wide receiver later on, and so we're able to take advantage of that running back value in the middle rounds. Now, Jeep Guy says you may be drafting till midnight at this rate. And honestly, yes. So if y'all don't know how it is, how it's set up right now is if we hit 350 likes in the live stream, we will fire up a second draft. If we hit 600 likes on the live stream, we will fire up a third draft. If we hit 850 likes in the live stream, we will fire up a fourth draft. We are not even through round 5 right now, and we are already at 314 likes. I have never seen anything like this before, so of course I owe you a big time thank you. But also, thank God I actually got a big water jug for this live stream because we are going to need it. I'm probably going to be done with this water by the time we're done with it. I'm going to be peeing in the jug at midnight. Okay, now we have Kenneth Walker, 57, Joe Mixon, 56, J.K. Dobbins, 55. And of course, if y'all are wanting to get in our next draft, we're going to be doing 1 million of these. Underdog Fantasy, promo code FLOCK for a 100% deposit match, and our 2023 fantasy football rankings. Just in case you are that caveman or you've been living under a rock and you have no idea what's going on, this is the puppy tournament, $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $150,000 for first place, $75,000 for second place, $50,000 for third place. So make sure you are going ahead, signing up with promo code FLOCK with link in the live chat, comment section, or description. That way you can get in these drafts with us, as it looks like I'll be drafting until the start of the season from here on out. Okay. Jordan says we got to make him do a 24-hour stream. Yeah, so Jordan, I don't know if you saw last year we did a 24-hour live stream drafting underdog drafts, and we will do it again this year if we hit 200,000 subscribers on the channel before the season starts. If we hit 200,000 subscribers before the season starts, you better believe we'll fire up a 24-hour live stream. And if y'all remember last year, I lost my voice and it was painful. It was disgusting. It happened in like week 3, but I'm convinced it was from that 24-hour live stream. So it will definitely do a toll, but I mean, it is what it is. Gucci Broomstick says we hit 359 already. Yes. And thank you for reaching out to me, my man, about the video idea. Thank you. And thank you for being a member of the flock, as always. Roman says, I'll be there the whole 24 hours. Last year, I wasn't expecting people to be there like that long. I thought people would like check in and check out. We had multiple sickos that were with us. I don't want to say for the entire 24 hours, but for like 20 of the 24 hours, we had multiple people that were out there for the entire draft with us. Okay. So JSN goes 67. JSN and Kittle falling. I actually saw George Kittle fall a decent amount in the draft I was in this morning. I actually picked up George Kittle in the middle of the 6th. And okay, explain this to me as well. Dameon Pierce has been falling in every single one of these drafts. Can someone please tell me what's up with Dameon Pierce falling as much as he has been? Both drafts that I was in earlier today from pick 4, I got Dameon Pierce at pick 69. I would love to hear why Dameon Pierce is falling so much. Saram, long time member of the flock. Happy to see you out here, my man. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now we have DeAndre Swift off 71. Interesting to see the Swift selection here from Aggie Whoop. I mean, they only have 2 wide receivers. In general, I'll take Swift in the 7th round if I took Jalen Hurts early on. Okay, Kadarius Toney off the board. So we kind of need a wide receiver. I think a lot of smart people would say, okay, Mason, come on, man. You took Josh Allen. Let's go ahead and let's grab Gabe Davis, right? You need a wide receiver. He correlates, blah, blah, blah. And I understand it's a strong argument to be made. Gabe Davis probably is the correct decision here. But in my mind, I just have a very difficult time passing on Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert has increased his receiving yards from a per game perspective every single year of his NFL career. Dallas Goedert is just an incredibly impressive tight ends. The man's in an elite level offense. If we take Dallas Goedert, I'm completely fine only taking 2 tight ends. Whereas if we take Gabe Davis, fundamentally, I don't necessarily know if it actually changes how we construct the rest of this roster. So yeah, we will go through and we will take Dallas Goedert at 75, even if maybe the quote unquote correct decision should be Gabe Davis based off the fact that we take Josh Allen, or maybe the quote unquote correct decision instead should actually be Jordan Addison based off ADP. But it is what it is. I like Dallas Goedert. I will draft Goedert. And I have a lot of Goedert as well. James says, because you made a video saying you were worried about Pierce. Yes, but we dove in deep. I was worried about Pierce if you're taking him around 4. But if you're getting him around 6, I love the Dameon Pierce value. I still stand by it. Jeep Guy says, Mason spreading the fake news about Pierce so he can draft him later on. I mean, if y'all watch the entire video, at the end of it, we dove into where he was going in ESPN drafts and where he was going in Underdog drafts. So Dameon Pierce in Underdog is a pretty damn good price, and I'm going to continue to take him. Okay. Let me see how much Dallas Goedert I have. I have a ton of Goddard. I have Dallas Goedert in 15% of my drafts so far. Not planning on stopping that anytime soon either. Okay. Now James Conner goes. And Gabe Davis finally off the board there at 81. If Gabe Davis would have made it back to us, I probably would have done a backflip, but Pacheco's still falling. We have a video coming out about Pacheco tomorrow for everybody. I mean, it isn't just about a Pacheco, but he's a good part of it. Watson goes 83. Quentin Johnston off the board. I doubt we have a wide receiver that we like making it back around to us, which is why you can make a strong argument why we should have gone ahead and why we should have just taken Gabe Davis there at pick 75. Soren says, do you want to spoil what it's about? I think y'all like it. I think y'all like it. Troy says, why is ESPN ADP dramatically different from Underdog? 1, because ESPN is not best ball. 2, because in ESPN drafts, you don't have to start 3 wide receivers. And 3, and this is the most important of all, and I don't mean to be an ass when I say this, but I'll probably be an ass when I say it, is ESPN drafts, especially their ADP, are primarily fueled off of kids hopping into mock drafts that have no meaning to them, or just the most casual fantasy football drafters that there are. Whereas in these Underdog drafts, you have to be 18 years old or older. And on top of it, every single league is paid for, has a buy-in. So naturally, the ADP is going to be much more sharp because it's going to be, I mean, some pretty sharp drafters. Like if it's a $1 million prize pool, $15 million prize pool, you better believe the best drafters are going to Underdog, right? I mean, if you are truly good at fantasy football, are you spending your time going through and trying to win serious money on Underdog, or are you trying to mock draft against kids in high school? That's a real question. Okay. Now, we'll take Javonte. We don't need a running back, but, I mean, he should backfill his production in weeks 15, 16, 17. Who the hell else am I supposed to take? I mean, freaking Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers are off the board. Derek says, hey, Mason, you get your cactus, LOL. You got to explain this to me, my man. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Weird Creeper says, Mason, can you see how long I've been subbed? I'm genuinely curious. First off, my man, thank you so much for being subbed for, I'm assuming, a long time. Second off, that does sound like a weird, creepy thing to say. Okay. Bobby says, I joined this draft randomly. Didn't realize you were in it and streaming as well until a few rounds into it on pick 5. Let's go through and let's check out Bobby's team after this. But what the hell am I supposed to do at this point? Everything is so gross, I'll just take Tua. I don't know. Derek says, Underdog sent me a succulent for maxing out Best Ball Mania. What the hell? Underdog did not send me any type of cactus, or at least they have not already. Maybe they sent it to my old apartment. If Underdog's sending out cactuses for people who maxed out Best Ball Mania, your boy better be getting one. Okay. Now, Philip says, hey, Mason, I'm already a mother flocker, but how do I become a YouTube member as well? Also, finally able to get a day off and catch a stream. Let's go. First off, my man, congrats on getting a day off. Second off, thank you so much for being a member of the flock. I was really confused on how YouTube memberships worked when we set them up, but we've had a clarification. We know how it works now. So the reason why, if you're on an iPhone, it seems weird in like, you're like, okay, I don't see the join button. How am I supposed to go ahead and like subscribe and join the membership program on YouTube? You can't do it through the YouTube app on your phone. YouTube doesn't allow it to happen, I guess, because Apple takes 30% of any subscription revenue that happens through their app store. So instead, you have to do it on the computer, my friend. Or if you're on an Android phone, it should be there and it should be a join button. But thank you so much again, my friend. Now, Saram coming out with a donation says, how are your drafts coming along? Doubling last year's winnings. Yeah. Okay. Let me say, y'all know every single video I am insufferable, and I'll talk about the fact that I'm the only person who won multiple high stakes tournaments on Underdog last year. And you better believe I'm going to be insufferable for the rest of the offseason and continue to remind you how damn good I am, just because I know I'm going to lose this year. Okay. We will come back down to earth. We most likely will book a loss. And so I have to run my victory laps while I still can, because next offseason, everybody can go back to calling me an idiot. But now we have a little bit of a shield behind us. But anyway, also, senior video on Bijan Robinson. Are you still drafting Bijan 6, 7, or 8 in a shallow format ahead of the likes of Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley? Yes, I will still take Eckler over Bijan Robinson in a full PPR league. But this is what we talk about at the very end of the video as well. If you're playing in like a shallow redraft format and you aren't going to get the ability to go through and take Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley in the middle of the second round like you can on Underdog, and instead you have to go through and you have to grab that running back round 1, I'll be completely fine taking Bijan Robinson in the middle of round 1 in that format. So, be completely fine. Derek says, bro, swear I'll send you a pick and disc. Send me the pick, my man. I'll show it on the screen. NFL Blitz says, I also got a cactus. It's in a sweet Underdog box. Underdog trying to get a baby made out here. What the hell? Y'all being extra weird in the chat today. I mean, I know I was being weird saying before this live stream, I was busy putting my makeup on or whatever, but we set the weird tone in this live stream today. But let me see that picture, my man. And let's swing this around. Obviously, we are really wanting quarterbacks off the board whenever we have Josh Allen and Tua. I mean, probably was not a good call for us to take Tua, but we were looking at the board and I was quick to admit I have no idea what the hell we should have done there, so we just went and did it anyway. Elijah Mitchell goes. I think I know who we're going to take based off the research that we did for tomorrow's video. Henry says, can we get to 600 likes before the first draft ends? Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much banking that we're going to have to do 4 drafts tonight. I mean, I don't know if maybe we've seen this like in the 24-hour live stream or something, but I don't know if we've ever seen a live stream like this. Freaking June 6th. Saram says, no, you're definitely winning big again this year, mate, 100%. Probably not. Probably not, my man. I don't know if we can be that lucky back-to-back years. Okay. G guys says, Mason, show us your feet. Hashtag weird. Stick to the end of the live stream, my friend. We'll see what happens. We'll see how crazy we go. Derek says send. All right, let me see what this cactus is about. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Dalton Kincaid to pair up with Josh Allen. We have no other potential stacks here. Okay. Okay, what the hell? How do I not have one of these? This is what Derek just sent us. Okay. Hopefully one of these is on the way for me. Hopefully, I'm going to drive to my old apartment tomorrow and see if one of those is waiting. That is awesome. I need one sooner rather than later. Mark Word says you could probably make more than 150K selling feet picks a year, just saying. I promise you, if this was true, I would already know, and we would have a completely different business lined up, my friend. Now, if we have a Jeff Bezos type individual who can make this a reality, show yourself. Show yourself in the live chat. All right, but now let's see. Wide receiver, we have Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Mike Evans. Tight end, we have Dallas Goedert, Dalton Kincaid. So we're done drafting tight ends. Quarterbacks, we have Josh Allen, Tua. So we are done drafting quarterbacks. Wide receiver, we have Tyreek, Christian Kirk, Mike Evans. Yeah, so definitely need more wide receivers. Probably going to be drafting a 2-5-9-2 build. It's probably going to be a 2-5-9-2. Loco says, flock feet coming soon. You better believe it, my friend. Blake says, you know you've made it when you get an underdog cactus in the mail. Yeah. Joey says, if you max out the puppy, you need to get a poodle shipped to you or something. That is, I mean, it is cool that Underdog's going through and sending out cactuses, right? But if I was in charge of the Underdog marketing team, here's what we're doing instead. You max out the puppy, you're getting a puppy mailed to you. You max out the big dog, you're getting a big dog mailed to you. If you max out the poodle, you get a poodle mailed to you. Imagine that level of marketing, right? If I get to my front door and because I maxed out the puppy tournament, all of a sudden there's a little Dalmatian sitting there for me. It just tiny little cute thing in a box. It says from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Come on. That's going all over social. That's going viral, probably. I will send these ideas to the Underdog team, but you better believe I'm charging for them. Now, Roman coming out and joining the flock. Super happy to see do it, my man. Thank you so much again for being a member of the flock, and happy to have you hanging out with us in this live stream, my friend. Nolan says, that's a big commitment. I can't even take care of a cactus. Well, my man, if you have enough time to get in 150 best ball drafts in a single tournament, you probably have the time to fill up a water bowl. Okay. Oh. Okay. What the hell am I doing? So far, a running back room consists of, we'll get to this in 1 second. I swallowed water down the wrong pipe. Give me a second. Oh, hopefully I correctly muted myself there. That would be gross for y'all. I don't know what we're doing. We're going to take Rondell Moore just in case. Oh, okay, we're going to send up a prayer, ladies and gentlemen. Send up a prayer that somehow, some way, we get a wide receiver making it back to us. For the love of God. For the love of God. But Caesar joining the vlog as well. Super happy to have you. Oh, my gosh. Roman says, been following you for the past 2 weeks. Appreciate all the info, big man. Looking forward to the next fantasy season. Thank you, my man. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, Eric says, flock growing. Shout out the mother flocker. All right. Rondell Moore goes 144. So, yep. You hate to see it. Best way to put it. Mark says, Mason saw only flocks and choked. Yes, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened here. Seren says, you should get a stuffed puppy for maxing it out and a live puppy for win. This is the correct marketing strategy here. You max out the puppy, you get a stuffed little puppy toy, right? Everybody loves a good stuffed animal. You win the puppy. Hell, if you win this puppy tournament here, and you have a cool $150K coming in your direction, you can pay for someone to watch that puppy if you don't have the time for it. You can pay for some doggy daycare, if that's what they call it. So, I like it, my man. I like it. Jose says, like the video, guys. Let's keep Mason drafting all night. Yeah, I mean, it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening here, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, and I know this sounds crazy, right? But we are drafting wide receivers every single round past this one. Right? I mean, oh my gosh. First off, look at this running back core. Here's what it consists of. We have Tony Pollard, a running back that's never been a bell cow. We have 2 running backs coming off of torn ACLs in Javonte Williams and Rashad Penny. And we have 2 rookies in Jahmyr Gibbs and Kendre Miller. So, running back room that maybe has a decent ceiling weeks 15, 16, 17, but wide receiver, we have Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Mike Evans, Alec Pierce. Quarterback, we have Josh Allen, Tua. Tight end, we have Dallas Goedert and Dalton Kincaid. So, we are going to go ahead and we are going to honestly queue up a bunch of wide receivers to try to save this team somehow, some way. And then afterwards, we are going to be hopping into another draft. Okay, so let's go through. Do I have to show y'all the order that we queue these guys up in just so y'all can snipe me later on? Do we really have to do that? Or can I just queue these guys up without y'all seeing? We're going to stick to the latter. We're drafting wide receivers through the rest of this. We are going to be hopping in another draft in 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just queue these guys up. I don't want to see y'all. I don't want y'all to see exactly who we're taking in what order. Tyquan Thornton's gone up ADP tremendously. That's surprising to see how much Tyquan Thornton's gone up. Okay, so we should be queued up. We should be good to go at this point. And let's go ahead and let's get this next draft going, ladies and gentlemen. We are hopping in the puppy here. Had 6 spots open initially, and it filled immediately. So I'm going to imagine that the majority of this draft, members of the flock, and yes, we have DSR out here. We have Z Millie out here. I believe T-Bone maybe is a member of the flock as well. Let me know if you are watching this live stream and you are out here hanging out with us. Joey Page, welcome to being a flocker, my man. Super happy to have you. We've never had this many people join the flock in a single live stream. This is a live stream for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. Live stream for the ages. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you. Okay. Obi says, Chase falling to 4. I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling as well, my friend. Yeah, Derek in here with the second pick. You have Colin at the 111. Phillip at 3. Z Millie in here as well. Happy to have you, my friend, at 9. Jordan says he missed it, but got 11 in a different one. Oh, that's brutal, my man. I'm not only missing it, but also getting the 11th pick. I feel bad for you. Charles, happy to have you out here, my friend. Bean Sal's live streams at night is definitely the move for likes. Live streams at night. We have a reason why we're going to be doing the live stream tonight rather than where we usually do it during the day. I don't know how often we can do it this late. Now, let's see. Tyreek Hill goes, so we will go ahead and we'll take Cooper Kupp. We'll just make sure that we get our wide receiver early. That way I can feel better about not drafting wide receiver in the middle rounds. And, yeah, we'll be able to convince ourselves that it doesn't matter, right? Cooper says, I'm in about 30 drafts in, and I have yet to get a top 5 pick. Promo code FLOCK is letting me down. My man, here's what you got to do if you want a top 5 pick. Clearly, I have had back-to-back top 5 picks, and honestly, I had more top 5 picks even before this live stream. I think I've had like 4 to 5 top 5 picks in a row today. We are on a heater every time before the draft fills. You click enter, and then you have to set up your phone where the camera's pointing at you and do the best dance you can. Preferably, it's choreographed beforehand. That way, you don't let the underdog gods down. But if you can set up your phone like on a little perch, join the draft, do some sick dance move, that's how you're going to get a top 5 pick. If you've just been sitting there looking at your phone like a doofus and not getting top 5 picks, probably should try something else, my friend. Derek says, I am the real Derek. We're having a Derek off here, my man. We're having a Derek off. Okay. Now, Jack says, could Tyquan Thornton become wide receiver 1 in New England? I think so. And probably not. I have taken a lot of Tyquan Thornton, though. I'm surprised to see how high he's risen up. Probably not going to take him anymore if this is a new ADP. But Garrett Wilson, Waddle going off the board. Interesting to see Waddle go before Adams. I'm assuming they're doing it specifically so they can try to have a unique build out the gate. Not super unique to have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, but pretty damn unique to have Garrett Wilson and Jalen Waddle. Dax says, underdog not legal in Iowa. Okay. I'm going to embarrass myself here. Where the hell is Iowa on this map? Is it the state under Minnesota? Is Iowa the state under Minnesota? If it is, it's not available in it. If not, you're probably mistaken. I don't know. And of course, if y'all want to get in an underdog draft, what you got to do is go to the link in the live chat, go to the link in the comment section, go to the link in the description, sign up for Underdog Fantasy, use promo code FLOCK. When you sign up with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. You'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings. You will get a free trial to flockfantasy.com as well. Most importantly, have some freaking fun. Live your life. Get in a draft with me. I drafted over 700 teams here last year. Won $150,000 on Underdog last year. Best ball, so no time commitment at all during the season. This is the puppy draft, so it's a $5 buy-in, $150,000 first place prize, $75,000 second place prize. If we had 600 likes in the live stream, we're firing up another draft after this one. And based off my simple calculations, it looks like we are about to hit 600 likes in this live stream. Malave goes, so we will go ahead and we will take Devonta Smith here. I mean, I have T. Higgins ranked ahead of Smith, but the reason we're taking Devonta Smith is there's a decent shot that we get an elite quarterback on the way back around, and that elite quarterback may be Jalen Hurts. So we'll see. We'll see if we can pull off that stack there. T. Higgins goes off the board there at pick 22. Okay. Okay, Master Date says, underdog not available in Delaware. Let me embarrass myself and see if I know where Delaware is. Delaware is the tiny little square looking one up in the Northeast, right? I think the sliver one's Rhode Island, and the squarish looking one is, or rectangle one based on that map, is Delaware. Could be wrong. Now, Mark Andrews goes 23. Super interesting to see Andrews go there. Okay, it looks like I was wrong. Maybe Delaware was the little sliver. Jeep Guy says, show me Montana. Montana's the big one, right? Montana is the one next to Washington. That's like the long rectangular one. Are you not entertained, my man? Are you not entertained? Okay. Soren says the rectangle is Connecticut. Silver is Delaware. Okay, well, we embarrassed ourselves on that front. But maybe we don't embarrass ourselves. Maybe instead of being a geography expert, we just know how these underdog drafts are going to work. And that close to getting Jalen Hurts. That close to getting the Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith pairing. Instead, we'll get Josh Allen, like we were already saying, not drafting these QBs in round 2, but now they fall to round 3, and now I'm drafting them. So I'm happy about it. Obi-Dobi says, Lamar at 36. I mean, Lamar at 36 pretty good, but Lamar goes 26 here, my friend. I mean, you can't sit here and say that that team at 2 in Derek is completely lost. Derek knows what he's doing. He's going through, and he is getting a combo out the gate of Chase, Andrews, Lamar. That Andrews-Lamar stack will primarily happen at the 3-4 turn. Whereas if Chase, Andrews, Lamar are all the guys that you need in weeks 15, 16, 17, then what's going to happen is you will not have many teams at all with that combo. Derek will in this large field tournament, and Derek will probably stand out from the crowd. Okay. Great says, Lamar and Andrews stack will probably win leagues with patience and not reaching. I'll say, yeah, in general, obviously, you'd rather, I'm sure Derek would tell you the same thing. You'd rather have Jalen Hurts in general. And if you're just playing in a 12-team league, yeah, you're probably going Jalen Hurts there. But when you're taking into consideration that this is a tournament, kind of want to have a unique build from the rest of the field. Odir says, can you make any transactions on iPhone? This is what I don't understand, right? Someone that's smarter than me explained this to me. So apparently you cannot join to be like a YouTube member. Like, let's go and show who did this last. Like Joey joined to become a YouTube member, right? You can't do that on an iPhone because Google takes 30% of the revenue. So YouTube doesn't let it happen. I'm sorry, Apple takes 30% of the revenue. But you can donate on an iPhone? And I'm assuming Apple doesn't take 30% of that revenue? I don't see why it would be any different, but Derek says, believe me, they will rise, and I didn't have a chance at them later. Joey says, I did it on my Roku TV. That is dedication, my man. I was watching YouTube on Roku because I was trying to show the girlfriend a video yesterday, and I watch YouTube from like the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I have YouTube Premium, so I just let the audio play on YouTube videos in the background. I love YouTube, but pulling up YouTube on a Roku, it was difficult. I hadn't done that before. Garrett says, I signed up for Underdog with code FLOCK. How do I go about getting access to your rankings? Thank you so much, my man. Underdog will send you an email. It'll come from Underdog Fantasy, not Flock Fantasy. So be on the lookout for an email for Underdog Fantasy. If you don't see it initially, check your spam. Okay. Now, Najee goes off the board at 42. So we cannot take a quarterback here, right, when we take Josh Allen. And this is kind of the painful thing that you set up sometimes. We'll go ahead. We'll take Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, it is what it is. This is exactly what we did in the last draft, it seems. Last draft, we had Tyreek Hill, Tony Pollard, Josh Allen, Jahmyr Gibbs. Here we have Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, Josh Allen, and Jahmyr Gibbs. But Studley Stu coming out with the donation. Thank you. Says, big fan of the channel. Did you happen to draft any of your big winners last year live? Would be cool to repost those drafts if you haven't, or point me towards if you have. Cheers, man. No, thank you so much, my man. So what's actually really funny is, those 2 drafts that I brag a ton about. So there were 3 big drafts that we had. So we won the big dog, which was the $250 buy-in, and we won $100,000 in that tournament. We won the Bulldog 2, which was the $500 buy-in, and we won $20,000 in that tournament. And we got 16th place in Best Ball Mania, which was the $25 buy-in. We got $10,000 there. So the big dog, where we won $100,000, we live streamed that draft. We did that live, just like we're doing now. I know which draft it is. I'm going to be doing a ton of content around it, showing about it, and being miserable bragging about it as we get closer to the season when there are more casual viewers here. So trust me, we'll be talking about it a lot. The Bulldog 2, those are slow drafts, so we did not do that live. But right after that draft ended, we went through and we made a video diving in deep with our thought process. So we'll also look at that video as well with the Best Ball Mania team, in which we won $10,000. I do not know if we did that on a live stream or not. I will have to try to figure that out. But 2 of the 3, yes, we covered on YouTube right after they happened. 1 live, 1 as a video. Maybe the 3rd one we did live as well. I don't exactly know, though. Derek says, I was in it with you, right? I think you reached out to me earlier I mean, as soon as it happened, letting me know. Okay. I ate dinner right before this live stream, and I have a giant piece of chicken in between my teeth that I cannot get out. Derek says, I think my 10,000 Best Ball Mania was with you also. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm excited to get in the big dog drafts this year when it opens up. So we almost won the big dog 2 years ago as well. I know we've told that story a million times over, but we truly almost won the big dog back-to-back years, which would have been incredible. Like nothing that would have been better than that. Okay, so Fields makes it all the way to 54. Burrow makes it all the way to 57. Let me point out how this happens here. So you have the T. Higgins team at 22 deciding to go through and take Jalen Hurts at 27. So when they're at the turn there at the 4-5 pick, they're not taking Joe Burrow. So Burrow makes it past the T. Higgins team there. Derek, who took Chase at 2, isn't taking Burrow when he took Lamar Jackson at 26. So Joe Burrow, a quarterback that was primarily going at the beginning of the 4th round at like pick 37, 38 when these tournaments opened up. Now you're seeing him in this draft fall to 57. Some crazy value on Joe Burrow. Crazy value. Okay. So let's move this down. JSN goes 63, slightly by both Kittle and JSN. Both again go slightly behind ADP. Interesting to see the Dalvin Cook selection at 61. Don't really get it, but it is what it is. When we take Hawkinson, we're kind of wanting wide receivers to make it back around to us. So I'm honestly fine Dalvin Cook going. Now, there are a few different things to consider when we are going to be up on the clock at 69. I don't want to say them initially. We'll wait until we are actually on the clock. But I think one of our usual targets in this range may not necessarily be someone that we want. There are a couple different ways we can go about this. Okay. Patty goes Evans. This team has Christian Kirk. So the thing is, do they take Lawrence behind ADP, or do they roll the dice that they can get Lawrence on the way back around because everybody else has elite quarterbacks? So they take Lawrence there at 68. Here's the thought process, right? Between Addison, Goddard, we are not getting both these guys making it back to us. In general, in these drafts, I am taking Dallas Goedert over Jordan Addison. This draft, we will go Addison. The reason being is even though Dallas Goedert does correlate with Devonta Smith for us, Addison also correlates with TJ Hawkinson. And on top of this, we need to set ourselves up with the ability to take Dalton Kincaid later on with this Josh Allen build. And if we don't, we are going to be in a world of pain where we may not have a single Buffalo Bills stack if we are not able to take Dalton Kincaid later on. So we'll go Addison 69. In general, I'm taking Dallas Goedert over Jordan Addison. Just like we took Dallas Goedert in the 7th round of the last draft, I really like Dallas Goedert at cost. I think both players would have been great for this team. Both players would have correlated with what we currently had. The primary issue is we need to be setting ourselves up with the ability to possibly go Dalton Kincaid later on. Gucci Broomstick says, I've been taking a lot of Hawkinson and not even trying to. So Hawkinson's fallen down these draft boards just a bit. I mean, when these contests opened, he was going in the middle of the 4th. Let me see how much Hawkinson we have. I don't think I have a lot. I have 6% TJ Hawkinson. So after this draft, probably 7%. We'll go take Burks, definitely. I mean, I'm happy to take Treylon Burks here. Burks, just the wide receiver. There's a pretty strong prospect coming out of school. The same time with Treylon Burks, this is a player that falls behind ADP, gives us the ability to get a unique combo. I think the vast majority of people say, take Gabe Davis, take Gabe Davis, take Gabe Davis. You have Josh Allen here, and you definitely want to be correlating Gabe Davis with Allen. This is why we passed on Dallas Goedert a little earlier on. That way we still set ourselves up with the ability to go with multiple other Buffalo Bills players. So yeah, it's not the prettiest situation in the world, of course. And I think you make a very strong and a very compelling argument to go ahead and take Gabriel Davis here. But I mean, it is what it is. We will take Burks and we'll get our stacks on the way back around. I mean, here, if we would have gone ahead and taken Dallas Goedert at pick 69, then I think we could have set ourselves up with the ability to go through and take Gabe Davis at 76, because then we wouldn't have had the ability to take Dalton Kincaid later on to pair up with Josh Allen. So I think you make a strong argument to take Gabe Davis, as we were already mentioning. But if I'm going to get like 5 picks ADP value on Burks, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Okay. So far, quarterback, we have Allen. Wide receiver, we have Kupp, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Treylon Burks. Tight end, we have Hawkinson. And running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs. John says, I joined late. Are we on draft 3 yet? No, we are in draft 2, my friend. We will get that third draft going if we hit 600 likes in this live stream, which I'm assuming we will do, very, very soon, based off of the craziness that has already happened in this stream. Gator says, I had a draft where I got Kupp at 5 and Eckler at 20. How the hell did you do that, my friend? How the hell did you do that? Rex says, got Deontay Johnson and Pickens at the 6-7 turn. Pick it in round 15. This is something I'm going to start doing. I told myself I was going to start doing this, I think 3 or 4 days ago, when we looked at it making a lot of sense. Not necessarily the Pickett part. I think Pickett isn't the biggest need of that double stack, but in general, like if I'm sitting there at the 6-7 turn and both Deontay Johnson, George Pickens are available, I think maybe it makes sense to go like Deontay and George Pickens there at 72 and 73 and get some easy correlation built in there. Okay. So Brandon Cooks off the board. Zay Flowers goes 89. Okay. I don't want to say exactly what we're going for. I'm assuming most people know. Patty on the clock. Fields, CMC, Chubb, Metcalf, London, Evans, Dotson. Colin says, T-Bone sniped Watson away from me. So mad. Okay, what happened here? Watson, 82. Yeah, you had Amari at 35. Interesting. Watson, round 7. Elijah Moore, round 8 picks. Thomas goes. We have to take Rachaad White. Rachaad White, 84 ADP. We're getting him at 93. James Cook is the pick that we want to make, specifically because we have Josh Allen. Like what I've been doing a lot with these Josh Allen early round 3 teams is taking James Cook and Dalton Kincaid on them. So we'll roll the dice. We'll see if they make it back to us. Obviously, we don't know. But, yeah, no, James Cook goes 96. So we're not going to get James Cook. But Saram says, seen some rumors of Dalvin Cook possibly being an option for the Jets or Cowboys. Reckon that would impact Pollard and Hall's value quite a bit. 100%. If that is true, if Dalvin goes to Minnesota, not great for Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry. If Dalvin Cook goes to Dallas, not great for Tony Pollard. If Dalvin Cook goes to the Jets, not great for Breece Hall. Now, at the same time, you can say if Dalvin Cook goes to Kansas City, not great for Pacheco. If Dalvin Cook goes to Buffalo, not great for James Cook. If Dalvin Cook goes to Miami, not great for the Miami running backs. So at the end of the day, I don't know how much we can be taking away from this. I don't know if we can actually be changing our draft strategy overall. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, in general, I'm taking Dalvin Cook when he falls with his ADP just strictly because I'm trying to take players that can see a massive swing with their overall value one way or another. So I have taken very, very little Jameson Williams, to be honest with you. I think we want to be mixing in some Jameson. The issue and why I haven't taken a lot of Jameson Williams is just because in general, in the middle of round 9, I'm more so looking at Alvin Kamara than I am Jameson. Specifically, if we were going to take him, it probably makes sense with this team in particular where we have Jahmyr Gibbs as well. So we build in the correlation there with Detroit, and we set ourselves up with the ability for a couple different double stacks. First thing being, I want to point out that there's a pretty good shot that we're going to be able to go through and get Kirk Cousins on the way back around. It's a big reason why we decided to go with Jordan Addison over Dallas Goedert as well previously. Because if you are looking at where Kirk Cousins usually goes to, Kirk Cousins usually goes in the beginning of round 9 to either the team at 1 who took Justin Jefferson, but the team at 1 took Patrick Mahomes. So, of course, they're going to be a little less likely to go through and take Kirk Cousins. Or they go to the team that has either Jordan Addison or TJ Hawkinson round 9. Well, we have both TJ Hawkinson as well as Jordan Addison. No picks from here 101 through 116 have any Minnesota Vikings, at least any Minnesota Viking pass catchers. So there's a realistic shot that we will be getting Kirk Cousins on the way back around at 117. If Cousins does not make it back around at 117, then, of course, we could always pivot to Jared Goff now that we have the combo of Jahmyr Gibbs as well as Jameson Williams. Okay. Obi says, how much Kelce do you have this year? So if you would have asked me this the past 2 years, Travis Kelce, back-to-back seasons in 2021, 2022, was one of, if not my most popular round 1 selections. And now I have no Travis Kelce. Yes, you heard that right. Went from having him everywhere to I'm off of Kelce this year. Jordan says, why are correlations good? I thought it lowered the ceilings of possible points. The exact opposite, my friend. We made a video talking about this in depth and showing all the historical data in depth. So big thing is, right, one team out of these 12 will win this fantasy football league. And also, if you're looking at this being a large field tournament on Underdog, it's a $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $150,000 for first place. We're going through and we're trying to get everything right in this draft. We want to have the highest ceiling possible. So when we go through and we take Cooper Kupp, then Devonta Smith, then Josh Allen, then Jahmyr Gibbs, then TJ Hawkinson, we are making 5 different bets there. We bet that Rams passing offense is going to be great. The Eagles passing offense is going to be great. The Bills passing offense is going to be great. The Lions offense will be good. The Vikings offense will be good. So when we make those 5 bets, we want to make sure that if one of those bets hits, we are also seeing the benefit elsewhere on our roster. So if we make the bet that the Minnesota Vikings passing offense will be great by taking TJ Hawkinson, if that Minnesota Vikings passing offense is great and we have Jordan Addison at the same time, we probably hit on Addison. Or if Justin Jefferson were to go down, then both these players look like league winners. If we make that bet on Jahmyr Gibbs with the Detroit Lions offense being better than expected, then Jameson Williams is probably going to be pretty damn good at the same time. So we want to go through, we want to make correlating bets in our lineup. We want to be doing this regardless of if it's dynasty, redraft, best ball. Just in general, stacking is a very good idea when you're able to do it out of value. Okay. Now let's see what this team does here in B-Dub. And we are not going to be able to take Cousins. The team way on the other end of the draft ended up going Cousins from us. We instead will take Antonio Gibson here. Not a big fan of Devon Achane. I think that there's still a chance that you have another running back such as Dalvin Cook going over to Miami. Okay. We go Gibson 117. Rodgers not really going to be in play for us. Rodgers wouldn't make a lot of sense. Elijah Mitchell goes, so obviously what we are looking for on the way back around, even though I'm not a big fan of the guy, Seems like we've been drafting him more and more lately just because we've been taking Josh Allen in a lot of these at the beginning of the third. We will go through and we will take Dalton Kincaid. Come here. You can come here. Okay. The lady wants to come see y'all. Come here. Come here. You can do it. Come here. There you go. There you go. I know. The box was in her way. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, I know. Say hi to everybody. Say, hey guys, thank you for coming, hanging out with us tonight on the live stream. Right? Say thank you. You got any good draft plans? You got anything you want? Oh, I know. Hey, did you hear they sent people cactuses and they didn't send us one? Can you believe that? Even though you would be the best underdog mascot, wouldn't you? Be the best underdog mascot ever. All right, we are on the clock. We are going to be getting Dalton Kincaid here. Yes, Kincaid does have the same bye week as TJ Hawkinson. You better not point that out to me because you know I will say I don't care. You know I will not. Okay. Hayes Idea says, did Underdog send you that puppy for winning the big dog? Yes. This is what happened. We won the big dog. Underdog did deposit $100,000, which was pretty nice. We like that. We like that. But we liked even more than the $100,000 for winning the big dog is Underdog sent us a pretty big dog, right? Would you say you're a big dog? Would you say you're a big dog? I know. Okay. There you go, girl. All right. Jamal Williams off the board at 125. Sky Moore goes. All right, you're going to have to lay down. You're going to have to find yourself a spot here. There you go, girl. Okay. Jared Goff goes. Honestly, where's Jared Goff's ADP? Okay. I mean, that's right in line with where he usually goes. Honestly, I usually don't draft a lot of Jared Goff, so, I mean, I thought there was a chance we were going to get Jared Goff around 12. Clearly, I'm just an idiot, but it is what it is. So, wide receiver, we have Kupp, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Treylon Burks, Jamison Williams. Quarterback, we have Josh Allen. Tight end, we have Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid. Running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Rachaad White, and Antonio Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this means, right? When you miss out on one of your quarterback double stacks, then you miss out on the second quarterback double stack. There's only one way to go. That's the way of the 15th round quarterback with all the rushing upside in the world, with the savior of this team, the savior of our season, Mr. Senior. I don't know any other ways to introduce him. Trey Lance. So, yes, you better believe. We better cue him up now. Trey Lance will hopefully be an addition of this team. Now, the issue is we can't really draft him on the live stream because he never makes it to us, but we'll see. We will see. Now, we have a massive dono coming off from Tommy Knows. Thank you so much. Says, what's your opinion on Terrace Marshall? Why did he fall off? Is it because of the declining dude in his 30s? A rookie with an unimpressive profile. It's year 3. He was getting better with horrible quarterback play. I don't get it. I think it's more about the fact that the Carolina Panthers coaching staff was not really there, did not make the investment into Terrace Marshall. And if you're going to be looking at Terrace Marshall and what the Carolina Panthers did this offseason, is they did everything they could to replace him. I mean, if y'all remember once they traded DJ Moore and you looked around and you looked at that Carolina Panthers depth chart and you said, okay, Terrace Marshall is the only guy standing. Terrace Marshall is the last show in town. They have no other option but to heavily involve Terrace Marshall. Then they went through and they signed Adam Thielen. Then they went through and they signed DJ Chark. Then they went through and while, yes, I don't like Jonathan Mingo, while, yes, I think the vast majority of people overrate him, at the end of the day, they drafted a wide receiver in the top 40 picks. So I think a big reason is you have an uncertain passing offense overall, plus the coaching staff really didn't show that they wanted too much to do with Terrace Marshall based off their actions this offseason. At least that's my assumption of it, my friend. That's my assumption. But again, thank you so much for being a member of the flock, hanging out with us every single night. And I'm going to keep this up here on the top of the YouTube. That way we remember to talk about something else that's related to this in just 1 second. But Overcome says, who do you think will lead the New York Giants wide receivers? I've been drafting them randomly in the later rounds, mostly Wan'Dale, but Shepard has been decent healthy. You kind of take the guy that I was going to say here, my friend. If I had to make a bet at cost on one of these New York Giants wide receivers, my favorite wide receiver at cost is going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is the best prospect of any player that they had there. On top of this, Wan'Dale Robinson looked pretty damn good at times his rookie season. Now, of course, the issue is they have a million guys that all look the same. Plus the fact that, Wan'Dale is the guy coming off the torn ACL. So it's not too exciting, right? But, it is what it is. And yeah, so going back to Tommy's question, this is what I was thinking earlier. If we were trying to find unique players that are not being drafted in round 18 that could see some random spike weeks, let me know what you think of this. And maybe it's just a horrible call. But if we look at a depth chart over there in Miami, right now, obviously you have Tyreek numero uno. You have Jalen Waddle numero dos. But I think maybe you can assume that you get some 3 wide receiver sets. You maybe get another guy in the field. How bad would Robbie Chosen or Robbie Anderson, whatever the hell you want to call him, how bad would Robbie Anderson be as a late round pickup here? Would Robbie Anderson just be the worst 18th round pick in the world? Scorp says he likes Terrace Marshall in the drafts. You could definitely get Terrace Marshall at every single draft there in the 18th round if you really wanted. So we take Rondale Moore, 148. We set ourselves up with the ability to go Kyler Murray later on if we really wanted to. Also taking Romeo Doubs, we set ourselves up with the ability to go Jordan Love, depending on how far he falls. Okay, Wild Lion says, I'd rather have Allen Robinson round 18 than Robbie Anderson. John says he's killing it at camp, but everyone always is. Honestly, I don't care what anybody's doing at camp, but Mr. Class is Greg Dortch, better 18th rounder. Let me know if y'all are in these underdog drafts, who's your favorite 18th round selection? My favorite 18th rounder, just to let y'all know, is honestly probably James Robinson. Wide receiver, I don't have too many names I can be pointing to and say, oh, this is my favorite round 18 wide receiver. But if I'm looking at running back, I really do like where Jameson Robinson goes. Sorry, not Jameson Robinson. James Robinson. Okay, so Roman says Zach Ertz. Malcolm says James Robinson. Jeffrey, Paris Campbell, Corey Davis, Greg Dortch, and Tillman, depending on if they have Watson or not. Yeah, so I'm assuming you mean Hopkins or not. I've actually stopped taking Cedric Tillman, even though I've drafted a few of him, just until we know where Hopkins goes. But if Hopkins doesn't go to Cleveland, I'll start drafting Tillman again. Marvin Jones, James Robinson as well, Puka, Isaiah Likely, Puka, Marvin Jones, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not going to lie. You kind of forget that Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually did score fantasy points last season. Like, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire repeated what he did last year and you get him in the 18th round this year, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you'd rather have some bigger spike weeks, but if the Chiefs don't sign another running back, I'll be fine going through and taking some Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 18th round as we get closer to the season. But real quick, I think we hit 600 likes, did we? Yeah, Ribbity says 600 likes, let's go. Okay, we're going to fire up another draft after this. Thank you so much for everybody going down there and hitting that like button. And of course, if you want to get in our next draft, we're doing this literally every single day on the live stream. Go to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code FLOCK. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100 with promo code FLOCK. Plus, you'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. Gabriel says, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, my worst first-round pick ever. Brutal, my man. Brutal. Scorp says, I've seen Tom Brady being drafted in the 18th round sometimes. What are your thoughts? I think if you're doing it in Best Ball Mania, it's probably really bad because there'll be other teams at the beginning of Best Ball Mania that are able, closer to the season that are able to get him. So it's not like it's going to be a super unique player. If you're taking Tom Brady in like the Puppy 2, and if you think he has a realistic shot to be able to come back this season, I've seen worse things because this contest would fill before he would come back. So if you were like one of the only three teams taking Tom Brady, then maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. Thank you, Rippity Dippity. And also, love the name. Rippity Dippity is a fun name to say. NFL Blitz says, Mrs. Flock punching the air right now. Mrs. Flock is not here. That's why we have a late live stream for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. That's why this live stream started a little later. Mrs. Flock left Mr. Flock after the live stream yesterday. But we're going to go ahead. We'll take Love. I mean, like we said, we took Romeo Doubs as well as Rondale Moore with the ability to take either Jordan Love or Kyler Murray on the way back around. So the real easy reason Jordan Love is a strong selection here is not only do we have Romeo Doubs, not only does Jordan Love fall 13 picks past ADP, but most importantly, when it comes to Jordan Love, he was on the thumbnail. So if you're ever going to take a sign from the underdog gods, it's probably that you should draft the player that's on the thumbnail to the live stream. So we're going to go ahead. We are going to use that as a tiebreaker. We will take Jordan Love here, pick 165. Okay. Kupp, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Treylon Burks, Jamison Williams, Romeo Doubs, Rondale Moore at wide receiver. Running back, we have Gibbs, Rashad White, Antonio Gibson. Tight end, we have Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid. And then quarterback, we have Josh Allen and Jordan Love. So honestly, I'm going to take 6 running backs with this team. I'm going to do it. Derek says, Mrs. Flock left you. Sadly, she learned that there were a few ladies watching these best ball streams, watching me draft fantasy football teams, and could not handle it. She said that you should be the only woman that is allowed to watch us draft fantasy football teams. I said it was a non-negotiable. That's how it went. So we will be live streaming for 24/7, 365 days a year from now on, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, Trey Lance, sadly, this is the worst part of this stream, not even remotely close. Sadly, we will have to go through, take Trey Lance off this queue, and draft Ezekiel Elliott. I know, I get it. It's gross. I'm with you, but it is what it is. Rex says, it's not fair to be so handsome. Now, I never thought I would get a tattoo. I never thought I was going to put permanent ink to my body, but after seeing a quote this good, I've never seen someone be able to summarize my life in 7 words or less before to this type of accuracy. I'm probably going to have to get this tattooed to my body, my friend. Y'all can take a vote on where we tattoo it, but I'm thinking neck. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let's move this down. Overcome says, didn't the headliners do a full day stream last year? To my knowledge, I am the only person, and please correct me if I'm wrong. To my knowledge, I'm the only person that has ever drafted fantasy football teams for 24 hours in a row. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. I would hate to be incorrect and continue to say that and overshadow what someone else has maybe already done. But to my knowledge, I think I'm the only person on this planet that has live streamed 24 fantasy football drafts for 24 hours in a row. Let's move this down. Evan says, I let your videos roll so often, I didn't even realize I actually made a live stream. Bad luck this past year, but won 2 leagues with some of your help. My man, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us in a live stream. Really happy to see you out here. Thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate you, my man. Okay, now Lance goes 184. It is always a painful sight seeing our guy go. We're going to be drafting probably 1 more wide receiver, 2 more running backs, most likely. Maybe, just maybe, we stop at 7 wide receivers. Who are 7 wide receivers? Kupp, Smith, Addison, Burks, Jameson, Dobbs. No, we need an 8th wide receiver, particularly because this is the puppy draft. If it was a high-stakes draft, I would honestly stop at 7 here. But because it's the puppy, we're going to have to take an 8th. Odier, yeah, Odier was there for a while of it. I was there for that stream. Very interesting. It was tough. Okay. NFL Blitz says, does Flock still put up 2 plates? So if y'all don't know, if you go to the oldest video on this channel, y'all see my NFL combine, and I benched 225 for 12 there, and I weighed like 163 pounds or something. But I sadly have fallen off, and I'll be the first person to admit it. We'll take Shakir here. We need another Buffalo player. Some of these running backs are the same for us. This team already has 6. They're not going to take a 7th. So we'll go ahead. We'll take Khalil Shakir just so we make sure that we get a pair up with Allen. Travis says, definitely a lot of people who make fantasy football content. You're telling me a lot of people have streamed for 24 hours in a row last year, fantasy football drafts. Tell me a lot of people. I don't think a single person has done that, my friend. A lot of people have done it. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to go Shakir. Kenneth Gainwell goes directly after. So at this point, we are going to be taking just 2 more running backs. That's what we're going to do. Just 2 more running backs. This will be a 2 QB, 6 RB, 8 wide receiver, and 2 tight end draft. Okay. And we're going to fire up 1 more draft after this, unless we had 850 likes on the stream, which honestly kind of looks possible now. Okay, Phillip on the clock. What are they doing? They go Claypool. Hell yes, so we're going to get Hunt. Hell yes. We will take Ezekiel Elliott and Kareem Hunt. That way we have 2 running backs that are not on an NFL team this next season, just like you like it. And we will queue up a bunch of other running backs. I don't want to show you exactly who we're going to queue up there. Instead, we'll just go ahead and we'll hop in a new puppy draft. And holy crap, we joined this and there were 11 spots open. So I am assuming that every single person in this draft will be a member of the flock, and we will be going up against some monsters. Bean Salad says, wait, how tall are you? If you ask me, I'm going to say 6'4". If you're going to ask my girlfriend how tall I am, she would probably say closer to 5'10". But it really depends on how good my stretching was that morning, what kind of shoes I'm wearing, and what kind of angle you're looking at. If you look at my license, it says 6 foot, but you can put anything on that bad boy. Odier says, is a hot dog a sandwich? Okay, let's get real here for a second. A hot dog, what it truly is, I don't care if it's a sandwich, a hot dog, it is the grossest concoction of meat that you could ever put together, and it is right in line with dog food. Okay. So, let's be real here. Now, if you're going to put a sausage, big difference there. A sausage in a hot dog bun, then we'll call it I don't know what we'll call it. But a faux show out here at pick 9. Jason at 4. Derek in here at 2 again. So we have Derek, I'm assuming, going Chase. Let's see if Derek does the same thing and takes Lamar and Andrews at the 2-3 turn. Rex says he's at the 111 in a different draft. Christopher says he's at pick 11 here. Happy to have you, my man. Clutch Cow in here at 7. Prod in here at 6. Jamie in here at pick 3. Love it, love it. Gucci Broomstick says, don't hate on hot dogs another day in your life. Okay, so probably before I was 5, I mean, from the time I was 2 or whenever babies can start eating real food to the time I was maybe 4 years old, like that 2 to 3 year span, the only thing that I ate were hot dogs, chicken nuggets, and fish sticks. Now I eat everything. And now I'm a much, much better eater. But if anybody's going to be allowed to go through and talk down on hot dogs, it'll be yours truly. We'll go ahead and we'll take Eckler. Try to mix it up. We'll mix it up. Bean Salad says you're 6'4". Yes. Yes. Teresa says, hey, April. Happy to see y'all out here. April 109 in another draft. Okay, so Bijan goes 11. Would have been interesting to have Bijan Robinson make it back to us at 15. I would have taken Bijan Robinson 15, definitely. Okay, we are back up on the clock in the other draft. What are we looking at? Do we get our guy James Robinson, or because we talked about him? Oh, no, he's still there. Perfect. We'll go ahead and we'll take James Robinson as our 6th RB. Cooper says, hit the gritty in front of my phone camera and got the 102. Thank you for your wisdom. This is what I'm talking about, my man. Y'all don't take me seriously when I say stuff like this. But the proof's in the pudding. Okay. We can't do it. Oh, my God. No, I have to take Barkley. We're going to try to make it work. This is the exact opposite of what we do in drafts. Usually we go wide receiver, slam, middle round, running back value. We will try to find a way to make it work where we go running back, and find wide receiver value. Not sure if we can make it work. We'll find out together, ladies and gentlemen. We will find out together. And wide receivers are flying off. You have T. Higgins here going off the board at 18. This may or may not be the highest pick I've ever seen T. Higgins go at. So just in general, I'll say before the Jimmy Garoppolo worries, before Jimmy Garoppolo was looking like maybe he was not the answer in Las Vegas, we were taking Devontae Adams there round 1. That way we could feel very comfortable taking Saquon Barkley over Amon-Ra St. Brown round 2. But now this is why it's a little more difficult. Just because if you assume Adams drops down a tier, like, can I still take Devontae Adams over Austin Eckler? Probably not. Caesar says, Mason of all people should be taking Bijan over Eckler. I understand it, guys. I understand. Like I said, when Bijan falls to 12, honestly 11, as long as he's in the same range as Eckler, Taylor, Barkley, I think it's a completely fine pick. If people are going through and taking him at 4, 5, 6, 7, in a format like this, if you can get, say, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor at 17 or 18, I'll never take Bijan. But if he's falling in this range, I think he's completely fine. Prod says, I'll find out with you, Mason. Yeah, Prod going through and taking CMC Chubb out the gate. Wishing you the best of luck, my friend. Wishing you the best of luck. Now, we have Metcalf going off the board here at 24. Not a good sign for us. Is this the same team that had the 101 in the last draft? Derek, maybe you know better. Was this the team drafting next to you in the last draft as well? They go Andrews 25. Okay. Ridley 26. Derek, you got to explain to me this Calvin Ridley selection. I thought I was going to be higher than most on Calvin Ridley this year. I thought I would be the guy going through and, or quote unquote, reaching for Ridley. But, that team at 4 must be extremely excited about their start. They go through, they take Kelsey, Smith, as well as Patrick Mahomes out the gate. Derek says same guy next to him. Okay. Yeah, Kelsey, Smith, Mahomes out the gate. Very few teams are going to have that combo because the majority of teams that have Kelsey and Mahomes got Kelsey and Mahomes by going Kelsey first, Mahomes second. Very few teams are going to have Smith there at 21. Josh Allen continues to fall. See if Prod takes Josh Allen. That'd be super interesting. And Prod does take Josh Allen. Oh, my man. I am excited to see how your team plays out. Swing. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous in this one. Okay. Breece Hall off the board, 32. Prod, I'm falling down your path. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Lamar Jackson. We will mirror what Prod's doing here. Prod, CMC, Chubb, Allen out the gate. We'll go Eckler, Barkley, Lamar out the gate. We'll do it, my man. Derek says, look who was there. I wanted a wide receiver, not a fan of the running backs. Okay. Rip Diggs team. Yeah, where's the Stephon Diggs team? Oh, Stephon Diggs, Cal Rush waiting right after, hoping that Allen was going to make it to him. Clearly doesn't. JB says, no Debo. I mean, we're mixing it up here, my friend. We are mixing it up, to say the least. ETN goes 36. One of my favorite picks there. Clutch Cows, this happens every time. But, I mean, that is brutal. I'd have been, hey, you can take it out on Prod. Prod's here right next to you. Right next to you. Christian Watson goes 37. If Najee falls, I will take these guys in this order. If Deebo Samuel goes here, I will take Najee Harris, and we will burn this team to the freaking ground. I honestly prefer Najee over Deebo in a vacuum. Clearly, Deebo's way better for this team as we have 0 wide receivers. Najee goes, so we will go ahead and we will take Deebo Samuel here, pick 39. Broad, ball's in your court, my man. See what wide receiver you're looking at. Owen says, the stacking just as important in non-best ball full redraft leagues. Also, Gibbs versus Hall. We're going to go Hall over Gibbs. And yes, stacking is important regardless of if it is a redraft format, a best ball format, or a dynasty format. You want to be going through and you want to be correlating your team. That way, instead of having to go through and get a bunch of individual bets correct, you instead can go through and try to only get a handful of bets correct. Okay. So Prod going Drake London at 43. Ooh, my man, I feel like you're the guy I'm going up against in this draft. Cameron says, can you explain how Underdog works? I'm typically just doing fantasy public money leagues, but I'm open to something new. Oh, yeah. So best ball, essentially, you draft this team, and then there's no time commitment at all during the season. 18 rounds, so there's going to be no waiver wire. You're not going to be able to drop or cut any players off your team, which, of course, means you're not going to replace your regular fantasy football league with this. This is something that's fun to do on the side. You're not even going to submit your own starting lineup. The best starting lineup is going to be automatically submitted for you at the end of every single week. It's how we drafted over 700 teams last year. It's how we won over 150,000 on Underdog. This year is a $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $150,000 for first place. So essentially in this 12-team league, the top 2 teams will advance into the fantasy football playoff tournament, which is rounds 15, 16, 17. And then from there, you'll just get dwindled down into through those rounds until round 17 for the big fantasy football championship week, my friend. But say definitely the time to try Underdog because they have the $5 puppy tournament out. So you can go through and deposit $10 with promo code FLOCK, have $20 in your account immediately with the 100% deposit match, plus get our rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com, and then be able to go through and fire up some drafts for some fun, my friend. Ribbity Dippity says, how do you get first place though? So you advance through the fantasy football tournament. So you get top 2 in this 12-team league. Then you make it to round 1, and then it depends on the exact cutoffs. It's either going to be you have to get first in your group for week 15 or first or second, then same thing in week 16, and then you're going to be in a massive price in a massive pool of guys. I think it's probably about 300 teams for this tournament in week 17. And if you're the top team there, you get first place, 150,000, second place, 75,000, and so on. Now, Austin coming out says, at the 112, Lawrence, Rodgers, Purdy, Etienne, Najee, Connor, Singletary, Fournette, Wilson, Waddle, Ayuk, Lazard, Thielen, Osborne, Reed, Palmer, Evan Ingram, and Tyler Conklin. So we have the double stack with Lawrence in terms of Etienne, Ingram. We have the double stack with Rodgers with Conklin, Conklin, Lazard. We have Purdy stacked up with Ayuk. I think it's a strong team, my friend. I just personally am not the biggest fan of going like Wilson, Waddle out the gate. I don't know. I mean, I haven't taken a lot of Garrett Wilson. Daniel says, I used your code for Underdog. How do I see your rankings? Underdog's going to send you an email, my friend. Check your email. It'll come from Underdog Fantasy. It will not come from me. And yeah, you'll see it there. So here, Justin Fields makes it to 53. Yeah, Justin Fields continuously falling to round 5. Essentially every single draft that you're in, Fields goes to round 5 now. Okay, Prod takes Christian Kirk, 54. I think Prod's pretty damn lucky to get Kirk falling that far. Big Mike says Aaron Jones in the 4th. Interesting. Hey, let me see where Jones went here. Hollywood goes 56. Interesting to see that. Josh is on the clock as Gibbs, Lamb, St. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. Has been pretty close to ADP. I wonder if they continue with it and they go Dobbins here. They go Kittle, so we're going to go ahead and we will take Chris Godwin. I mean, we are just desperate for a wide receiver, right? The only wide receiver we have is Deebo Samuel, and you know these wide receivers are going to go fast. Lawrence goes 59. Good for us. We're not considering Lawrence here. I mean, we had Deebo Samuel. You know what quarterback we're considering later on. Not only considering, we're praying for. JSN, 60. Pitt, 61. This is how we'll take these guys. If Ayuk goes, we'll go ahead and we'll take J.K. Dobbins. We'll get the 8-pick value in ADP. Pretty strong selection in his own right. We have Lamar. We made that consolidated bet on the Baltimore Ravens Baltimore Ravens offense in general. If we go Ayuk, we can get our double stack in with Trey Lance later on. So Ayuk off the board. So most smart people would not do this. Any smart person would not do this. But of course, I do not consider myself a smart person. So instead, we will go ahead and we will take J.K. Dobbins here at pick 63. So far, running back, we have Eckler, Barkley, Dobbins. Wide receiver, we have Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin. And quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson. So Overcome says, Olave is my most drafted guy on Underdog at 46%. That's crazy, my man. I think my most drafted guy is capped off at like 24%. I mean, of course, if I'm drafting like 700 teams here on Underdog, I have to be a little more strict with my exposures. Like last year, Jacobs was my most drafted guy, and I believe we only had Jacobs in like, I want to say 20% of leagues, something along those lines. Here, our most drafted guy is Lance. I think we have Lance in like 24% of drafts. Okay. So we have Dameon Pierce, Miles Sanders, Deontay Johnson off the board. Nathan says a 4 running back build. Definitely in years past, like if you're looking at historical data from, say, 2021, I'd say a 4RB build would be ideal here if you start with Eckler, Barkley, Dobbins out the gate. But a lot of people that are looking back with that historical data and saying, okay, that's the structure that won 2 years ago. That's what's going to win this year. Honestly, I mean, they may think they're smart. In reality, you can't really just be going off that historical data because ADP isn't completely different now. And if you were looking at the expected value from a pick here in the middle rounds of wide receiver versus running back, it's not the same as it was in years past, where yes, in years past, I mean, the expected value for a wide receiver in round 12 was probably higher than what you were going to see with the running back. So you would rather use those extra rush spots on wide receiver. Here it's a little bit different. So here I'm always willing to go through and grab that extra RB. So yes, in years past, maybe you wanted to go with the 4 RB build here. Instead, I'm probably going to go with the 5 RB build this year just because ADP is so different than it's historically been. Okay. Joseph says, I have 46% Zeke. Does that make me inclined? It depends where Zeke goes, my man. I mean, if Zeke ends up as the goal line back in Miami, you're probably pretty damn happy with his ADP. Okay, now Burks goes 72. Now, at this point, the issue is 9 times out of 10, the best values here at the end of the 7th, especially the beginning of the 8th, will be the running backs on this board. So can we have the discipline to take the nasty wide receivers instead of the running backs that we would probably rather have? We only have 2 wide receivers so far. Usually, I don't have the discipline. But maybe this time's different. Yeah, Derek somehow gets Tyler Lockett making it to him at 74. I mean, that's a 10-pick value based off ADP. Definitely leading to a unique combo here. Derek says, last year I had 40, not this year. I have 0 so far. 40 what? Big Mike says, I love 5 RB builds. Yeah, to be honest, in years past, I mean, and even in this season, what we've been saying, what you want to have with your running backs is a construction of 4 to 6 RBs. But specifically because running back value looks so much better in drafts this year than it's historically been, I don't necessarily know if we want to be following those same roster guidelines that worked in years past. I kind of want to be saying that instead, you kind of want to have 5 to 6 RBs this year. I feel like we can't go through and have the same approach that worked in years past. Derek says 40% Pollard. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I remember last year, Derek, you taking Pollard a ton and me not being smart enough to take him with you. Clearly, Pollard was the league-winning player, and I wish that we were smart enough to take Pollard, but sadly, we were not. Okay, so Josh is on the clock. Goes Watson. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Quentin Johnston. Honestly, there's some players I'd rather have over Quentin Johnston here, but we have Austin Eckler, so we can build in that correlation with the Los Angeles Chargers. At the same time, we just so desperately need a wide receiver, and you better believe I'm not taking Bateman, Zay Flowers, or freaking Elijah Moore here over some of these running backs. So we're going to take Quentin Johnston here at 82, and we'll see whatever value makes it back around to us at 87. Overcome says, is Dalvin going to smash wherever he goes? That's not guaranteed. Derek says, I also had like 30% Pitts. Not forgetting your second round Kyle Pitts called. Some of those drafts, my man. Of course, I had a decent amount of Pitts as well. I don't want to say everybody, but as a lot of people did. Okay, so let's see where Gamboa goes. A team that has Bijan Najee at running back. Goes Evan Ingram. So you know what? We're going to take Darren Waller here. We have Saquon Barkley, so we can correlate with the Giants. Maybe we can set ourselves up with the ability to take Daniel Jones a little later on. So, I mean, I kind of like this team, right? I mean, wide receiver, we are definitely weak. We have Debo, Godwin, Quentin Johnston. But running back, we have Eckler, Barkley, Dobbins. We have the elite quarterback with Lamar Jackson. We have the ability to possibly only take 2 tight ends with Darren Waller here at pick 87. And if you're looking at the correlation we've built in through this team, we have Barkley, Waller paired up. We have Eckler, Johnston paired up. And we have Lamar and Dobbins paired up. So I like it. I mean, Waller, 87. Hopefully Jeep guy's still out here so we can see this kind of value that we got on him. And real quick, just in case you have not heard already, if we hit 850 likes on this live stream, we will fire up, I believe, a 4th draft after this one, if this is not our 4th already. And if you want to get in that next draft with us, of course, go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code FLOCK when you sign up, and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Also, with promo code FLOCK, you'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings. You will get a free trial to flockfantasy.com and available in damn near every state. We're literally streaming on Underdog Fantasy every single day until the season starts. Okay. Now we have James Cook, Javonte Williams, James Conner, David Montgomery, all going a great value at running back. I mean, Prod getting James Cook specifically to pair up with Josh Allen here. Where did Gabe Davis go? Okay, so Prod definitely was looking at Gabe Davis, a big 78 if he would have fallen, but Gabe Davis went at 76, so Prod wasn't able to get him. Okay. Let's move this down. Sutton goes 95. I don't even know what we're wanting. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to have wide receivers making it back to us, right? But, I mean, look at the wide receivers that are available. You have Jameson, Juju, and the next guys are Allen Lazard, Odell, and Tyler Boyd. So, it's like, yeah, we need wide receivers, but at the same time, like, do we want wide receivers here? Derek goes with our guy, Cortland Sutton at 95. Interesting, my friend. Interesting. Okay. Overcome says, Pitts dragged my favorite league's team underwater last year, man. The issue with Pitts, right, is not only was Pitts bad, but if you had Pitts in like a regular fantasy football league, and trust me, I mean, people were asking me start-sit questions, and I was telling them for way too long, oh, you can't give up on Kyle Pitts. Keep on starting Kyle Pitts. Oh, yeah, no, start Kyle Pitts. If you bench him, he's going to blow up. No, start Kyle. I don't know how many times I told someone to start Kyle Pitts for him to just go out there and have 2 targets for 13 receiving yards and me have to show up that next day and apologize. Like, I don't know. Christian says, how do you use the flock code? Where do I put it on Underdog? Just make sure you go through the link in the description or the comment section. That should automatically apply promo code flock to your account. I mean, and you should definitely see a spot where you sign up with it as well. Of course, if you already have an Underdog account, you're not going to be able to go through and then add in promo code flock later on. But if you're signing up for the first time, you should be able to. Okay. Derek really making sure that we don't get a wide receiver here. Going ahead and taking Cortland Sutton at 95 and then Jameson Williams 98, leaving us with absolutely nobody there. Absolutely nobody. Okay, so Samaje Perine off the board. Good for us. I've taken literally 0 Samaje. Smooth this around. Dak goes. We probably can't take Tua, right? I mean, good for Tua to go for us. We're going to take Freiermuth and we're going to be done at tight end. I love the Freiermuth value. I think these wide receivers are the same guys that we're going to be looking at in a few rounds. So let's go ahead and let's take Pat Freiermuth at 106. It's a little bit of a reach. I don't really care. I'm not too excited about taking Allen Lazard. Not too excited about taking Odell or Tyler Boyd. And obviously, we're already heavily skewed to running back, so it's not like we're heavily incentivized to take Brian Robinson either. Derek says, didn't mean to. I was going to take Kamara. Yeah, my man. Yeah. I've heard it once, I've heard it before. All right. Now, Gamboa goes Rodgers there. How Garrett Wilson, based off ADP, my friend, what I think actually would have made a little more sense is if you could have guaranteed yourself the double stack with like Lazard and Rodgers, if you want to, went through and take maybe a Lazard at 107. Maybe it works out. I mean, K. Blake Jones has 0 QBs, so maybe you were right to be a little more worried about quarterback. But yeah, that team passed on Odell, so you can still get Lazard for the double stack, which he does. We'll go ahead. We'll take Daniel Jones to get the double stack there with Saquon Barkley and Darren Waller. Really interesting team, probably not a good team. Running back, Eckler, Barkley, Dobbins. Quarterback, Lamar, Daniel Jones. Tight end, Darren Waller, Pat Freiermuth. Wide receiver, Debo, Godwin, Quentin Johnston. So here's what we need to do collectively. Everybody, put down your phone, put down your laptop, put down your iPad, pause the TV, whatever you're watching this on. Send up a prayer that we get some wide receivers making it back to us. That's what we need. Jeffrey says, QB bye week 13 issues. That's a lot of points on the table, isn't it? Here's the thing, my friend. This is a $5 buy-in. This is $150,000 for first place, $75,000 for second place, $50,000 for third place. To get these prizes, is it going to be won by a team that is going through and chasing to cover bye weeks? Or is it going to be from a unique team that has a high ceiling for weeks 15, 16, 17? In my mind, it will not be from covering your bye weeks. And instead, if the rest of the field is actively looking to avoid the combo of Lamar Jackson and Daniel Jones because of their bye weeks, I would much prefer going after and trying to pair those guys up for a unique combo if it's going to lead to it. Mike says, have to remember regular season payouts. My friend, if we're going to go through and look at regular season payouts, here, first place, $10,000. Second place, $9,000. $8,000, $7,000, $6,000, $5,000. It's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to what we're looking with the playoff payouts. So if it was balanced a little more, I would agree with you. But in my mind, with this puppy draft, if we are in play for the regular season payouts, cool, I'll be happy with it. In reality, I think we should still be trying to optimize for the playoffs. And if we win the regular season, I'm happy with it. Okay. So now Geno, Cousins go off after, and then we have a run on running back. So we have some wide receivers possibly making it back to us, right? Maybe we have some wide receivers. We'll see. Ooh, y'all are getting me my guy, Jonathan Mingo. Yay, yay, yay. Rashee Rice. Derek, I see your DM. I will take a chance to reply to you after this live stream. I don't want to start typing on the live stream. But Rashee Rice goes off the board, 124. I'm sweating my ass off. Give me a second. I'm going to turn on this fan. I am literally sweating my ass off. This dog really thinks she needs to be all over my legs and just makes this room so hot. Tommy Knows coming out with another donation. Thank you so much. Says, in a similar situation, although I pounded wide receiver starting third round, what do you think? JT Amari, Christian Watson, Burks, Pickens, Watson, Waller, Brian Robinson, Daniel Jones. So here's my thing, my friend. I honestly no longer like taking Amari Cooper around 3 until Hopkins signs. If DeAndre Hopkins signs, and then at the end of the day, you're still looking at a situation. DeAndre Hopkins signs somewhere else, and you're still looking at Amari Cooper as a phenomenal option in Cleveland as the unquestioned wide receiver 1, then hell yes, let's go for it. I'm excited about it. But I just think inherently, like if we're looking at this, right, and you take Amari Cooper late round 3, and I'm just trying to nitpick. I think me trying to go through and nitpick your draft is honestly probably a little bit better than me just saying, oh yeah, good team, I really like it, right? If I'm just trying to find anything that I could possibly change right now, at least that I personally would do differently. Of course, I'm an idiot. I could always be wrong. But if we're looking at where Amari Cooper currently goes, if Amari Cooper is going like middle to end of round 3, if DeAndre Hopkins were to sign in Cleveland, which right now is the betting favorite, then I would say at that point, Amari Cooper probably falls down to like the Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy, Drake London, Terry McLaurin range. Whereas if DeAndre Hopkins does not sign in Cleveland, Amari Cooper stays exactly with where he's going right now. How I know that is because this is where Amari Cooper was going a month ago, 2 months ago. So personally, I don't love drafting Amari right now. If you really like Amari for this next season, I would probably just wait until we get more information on where DeAndre Hopkins is going to play. And once we get clarification that Hopkins is not a Cleveland Brown this next season, then at that point, pivoting over and starting to draft Amari Cooper again. If I can try to nitpick this in any other way possible, I don't see where our first round pick is. I mean, we have JT, presumably a second rounder. I don't know who we taken first. I'm assuming we grabbed a first rounder guy here. I just don't exactly know who. But the fantasy fella says, are you doing one more after this? If we hit 850 likes in the live stream, we're going to be firing up another draft after this one, my friend. And of course, if you all want to get in our next draft or the one tomorrow or the one the next day, Underdog Fantasy, promo code FLOCK. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. Promo code FLOCK. You'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings. And on top of that, you'll get a free trial to flockfantasy.com. So here at the 11-12 turn, I do not like Jonathan Mingo. Y'all know that, but it seems like I draft Jonathan Mingo in every freaking one of these drafts at this point. But, I mean, it's just an easy way to go through and get a couple wide receivers that correlate together. Take Jonathan Mingo and Adam Thielen together here at the turn. I mean, if all of a sudden Bryce Young is better than people expect and the Carolina Panthers passing offense is actually above average this next season, then both these guys can hit on ADP, and we desperately need something like that. Okay, so we have a run on non-wide receivers after us, which is exactly what we need to see, right? Okay, so Osborne goes. Swing this over. So, yeah, we actually have wide receivers making it back around. So even if we really like Greg Dulcich here, we just simply can't take him. When we take Darren Waller and Pat Freiermuth, we do so with the sole purpose of not drafting another tight end through the rest of this. That way we can load up on as many wide receivers and running backs as possible. Greg Dulcich goes 148. KJ Osborne 147. Great for us to see Stafford go off the board here. Stafford ADP 160 goes 149. Not expecting it, but definitely good for us. Interesting thing is, would we go Chark? Okay, these teams before us, I mean, they have a decent amount of wide receiver firepower. This team is Brown, Waddle, Judy, Hollywood, Sky Moore. They go Alec Pierce. We're going to go ahead and take Van Jefferson here. I actually take DJ Chark a lot in this range, but when we already have the pairing of Mingo and Adam Thielen, and we're not going to be taking Bryce Young later on, don't really love the idea of going Chark here. I mean, if Chark makes it back around to us at 159 and we're able to get a unique pairing based off that, then maybe we pivot over and go DJ Chark, but instead I'd rather just take Van Jefferson. Okay, so Chark goes 156. So we're going to take Hyatt or MVS, whoever makes it back. We'll take MVS. I don't care. I'm not taking Jalen Hyatt. I'm not doing it. We already took Jonathan Mingo, and you know I don't like Jonathan Mingo, but I'm not taking multiple guys that I have no interest in on this team. I'll take one of them, but I don't want to be pairing these guys together. So running back, we have Eckler, Barkley, Dobbins. Quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones. Tight end, we have Darren Waller, Pat Freiermuth. Wide receiver, we have Debo, Godwin, Quentin Johnston, Jonathan Mingo, Adam Thielen, Van Jefferson, as well as Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And you know what? Maybe I'm a freaking idiot, right? We had Daniel Jones. Jalen Hyatt fell 9 picks for past ADP. I probably should have just gone through and taken Jalen Hyatt. We already had the double stack with Daniel Jones, with Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller. In these super large field tournaments, I don't like having 4 to 5 teammates on the same roster. I know that some people think it's a decent idea. I'm telling you, if you have 18 roster spots and you're spending 5 of them on one offense, you're probably not going to have the ceiling you're looking for in week 17. Now Ford off the board. So Derek slamming in running backs here, going Penny, Khalil Herbert, Miller, Mostert, Ford. Kyler's still available. Obviously, we're not looking at Kyler. When we take the combo of Lamar and Daniel Jones, kind of done drafting QB. We're running back, wide receiver from here on out. Jared says, come on, fellas. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get another draft. Yes. I mean, y'all have already hit that like button so much. I mean, this is what? Back-to-back live streams we've done 3 to 4 drafts on. We're doing this every single day until the season starts. I don't know how many streams we can be getting in 4 to 5 drafts starting in June and still make it to the start of the season and then have all the stamina to be able to go through and live stream every single day during the year as well. So, okay. Samuel 171. Chief Smoke says, where's Wan'Dale? My man, Wan'Dale goes 168. I would have been very excited to have Wan'Dale Robinson make it back to 178. Y'all know, I mean, if you've been hanging around with us for quite some time, that I honestly kind of prefer Wan'Dale Robinson straight up over Jalen Hyatt. The fact that you're getting a discount on him, in my mind, makes, I mean, so much, I don't want to say sense. It makes me really want to draft him. We'll put it that way. Okay, Kyler goes 174. Could we go 3 tight ends? No, our wide receivers are so bad. We need 8 wide receivers. I mean, we need minimum 8 wide receivers. Most likely 9 wide receivers with this team. There are very few teams I've drafted 9 wide receivers on this offseason on Underdog, just because I think the wide receiver ADP is so skewed. Okay, if we did not already have the double stack with Daniel Jones with both Barkley as well as Darren Waller, I think Isaiah Hodgins is a clear pick here. But as we've already discussed, as we have those double stacks, I mean, if I have 3 roster spots spent on an offense already, if I get a player at a severe discount according to his ADP, I'll be fine going ahead and taking him. But it's not like once we already have our 3rd guy in that offense, we're going out of our way and trying to get our 4th, going out of our way and trying to get our 5th. So we're going to take Josh Downs, a player that I actually like a little bit more. Jared says, listen to you all of 2022. Won 3 out of 5 leagues. Let's go 2023. Love to hear it, my man. Love to hear it. Now, Lance goes 181. Oh, we have a bunch of rookie wide receiver firepower on this team. We have Johnston, Mingo, Downs. Hopefully one of these guys can break out at the end of the year for us. Claypool goes, we'll go ahead and we'll take Chuba Hubbard here, pick 183. And we're going to be taking one more running back, one more wide receiver through the rest of this. Let me scroll this down, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to piss myself. So give me 1 second. I will be back here. Okay, I am sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are back. Move this down. We have Puka off the board here at 188. Something I was not expecting. I do not think I've taken him a single time. I don't plan on taking him a single time if he's going here. We still need another running back. We took Chuba, so our third Panther there. So if you're looking at the offenses that we are betting on the Giants with Daniel Jones, Barkley, Darren Waller. We are betting on the Ravens with Lamar Dobbins. We are betting on the Chargers with Eckler Johnston. We are betting on the Panthers with Mingo, Thielen, Hubbard. So we have a decent amount of correlation with this team. I like this team. It's very, very different team than what we're used to drafting. I'll say that. And I would say this is a probably a really unique build for the rest of the field as well. I don't necessarily know how many teams are going to have this same approach. Probably because it's not a good approach, but it is what it is. You say not good, I say unique. Blake Jones says, hit the like and sub button. Happy to have you out here. And yeah, I mean, is there anybody who's watching? Genuine question right now. Would there be anybody watching this that's not subscribed? I just naturally assume that like new people will find the channel with the videos, and like the people I'm hanging out with in the live stream are just hanging out with us every single day. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming it's like new people find the videos, and then once they find the videos, like, oh, we can hang out in the live stream. Okay, so Kate Otten going 197. Okay, so Bryce Young falling, obviously. I mean, we are all in on the Panthers, but we have Lamar, Daniel Jones, and we are so light elsewhere. We're not taking Bryce Young. Okay. So are there any other correlating bets that we can make here? Maybe if we want a super unique pick, we go Allen Robinson with Frymuth. Probably not. Gainwell goes, what the hell am I supposed to do? Oh my gosh. Maybe we go Richie James. We have MVS. This can be the team that if nobody works out in Kansas City, if Kelsey gets injured and then all the other wide receivers are bums, and Richie James and MVS can each have spike weeks, I don't know. We're telling a random story here. And then we're going to be getting James Robinson on the way back around in the 18th. Christian says, I'm new. I watched for some of last season, but just subscribed yesterday. Now I'm watching every day. Super happy to have you, my man. Super happy to have you. Giovanni says, you need a duck decoy for the studio. Oh, that's a good idea. Like one of the little wooden things. That is a good idea. I have some like cool little figurines I want to show, but I just need to build like shelves in the walls or something. I don't know. I have a bunch of stuff I want to put in the background. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take James Robinson here. Probably going to cut the live stream at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we have no shot heading 850. But regardless, it's been an awesome live stream. I truly, truly appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us for this damn long. And as always, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. I mean, we've been doing this every day since April, and we'll be doing this every single day until the end of the season. So happy to have you here and happy to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. And of course, as always, if you want to get in our next draft with us, find that link to Underdog down there in the live chat, the description, the comment section. Sign up with promo code FLOCK, and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. You'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, and you will get a free trial to flockfantasy.com. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Really do appreciate you. Really hope you have a great day, and really hope that we get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow.